You're allowed to be happy right now. Hello, welcome back to my 90 days of lessons from me to you. And today is day 46. And I missed yesterday because I was late for work. I was late for work yesterday. I was like an hour and a half late for work because I was watching the dogs and I was like an hour away from my job. So I was 30 minutes late to work. It took an hour to get there. So no video. I had fully intended to record a video and show you guys my dog, but it just didn't happen. So it's gonna have to take a little bit for you guys to see my dog. But today's lesson is that you're allowed to be happy right now. I feel like one of the things that we tend to do as people who try to achieve things, people who try to go for higher things in life, is that we, there's this concept of there's the concept of delayed gratification, right? And I truly do believe that delayed gratification is a thing that we need to not just us, like people who chase goals and things like that. Everybody, I feel like the world at large needs to practice delayed gratification, because I feel like there are a lot of people who are so involved in seeking immediate pleasure that it harms them in the long term. So they'll be happy now to suffer later, right? And I feel like if they practice delayed gratification, it'd be so much better. But speaking from the aspect of people who delay their own gratification to achieve something, right? I'm gonna use myself an example, because YouTube itself is an entire process of delayed gratification. You're editing videos, you're learning how to edit videos in different software. It sucks. It really sucks. You're learning how to color grading sucks. I don't know if you guys have been noticed recently, the color grading on the videos have kind of changed, because I'm using DaVinci Resolve right now instead of CapCut, but it's a difficult process, okay? But and with college, right? And pursuing my higher education, I'm delaying the idea that I could start a life to, maybe get my own place a little bit sooner, get a job, do this, do that, because there are certain things that I want and I see for myself. And I know that if I put it off a little bit longer and go after these things, my life in the long run is going to benefit so much more from it. But a trap that we do fall into while we're doing this is that we don't enjoy the now, right? It's all about the grind. It's all about I gotta get to it. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I'm like, oh, I gotta make a TikTok today. Oh, I gotta make a YouTube video today. Okay, I gotta do. When I was in college, it was like, okay, I gotta do this. I gotta do that for school. Do this, do that, that. And I'm looking back at my college experience, and sure, I had fun, but there's definitely people out there, and not to say that going back to delayed gratification, not to say I should have been out there partying every single weekend, but I'm looking back and I'm like, dude, I could have went out a little bit more. I could have, went out and hung out with my friends. I could have gone to this game a little bit more, things of that nature. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with enjoying your life where you're at, right? And you shouldn't feel guilty for wanting to do that. You shouldn't feel guilty for doing that, because, dude, you can just die tomorrow, right? All these things that you're working for, not to say that they won't amount to anything, because anything that's really worth pursuing that you're going after is going to be worth something, even if it's just to you. But it's the idea that you could die tomorrow and all of it was for what? You have no memories, you have no love shared between people because you decided to put off all these things. And I'm going to speak to the men on this one, because I'm going to get into the idea of a relationship topic. One thing that men do tend to do, especially, the ones that are on this grind, super grind, blah, 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 is that they'll put off the idea of getting into a relationship. And to some aspect, I agree. It's good to put off the idea of getting into a relationship if you're not ready for it. But for those guys who may be mentally and emotionally in the place, maybe not well off financially, I'm not going to tell you, if you're broke as hell, go get a girlfriend. No, don't do that. But if you're in a good spot, a well enough spot, and you feel like you could support that, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with going out there and trying to seek companionship, because again, like I've said, I've kind of been down the self-help hole. My feed still gets it every now and again. My feed still gets it every single day. And it's telling you as a guy, don't pursue a relationship, stick where you are, blah, 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 grind it out. The ladies, they'll be there later. And yeah, women are always going to be there. But if you find somebody that you truly think understands and gets you, and sees you where you are and who you are, there's no reason to not try to pursue that. You know, sure, you don't have a thousands of dollars in the bank account. Sure, you don't got like 50,000 or 100,000 or even 10K in the bank account, right? I hope you do, but you know, I understand that I was in college. You know, you ain't got 10K in the bank account, you ain't got 15K in the bank account, but a woman who truly understands you, you know, they'll see that. They'll understand that, and they'll meet you where you are. They'll understand that, you know, sure, I won't be able to maybe go on this trip. I'm not gonna be going on crazy trips with them, blah blah blah, but dude, you can try. Not try trips. You can try to cater to her. You can try to court her. You know, take her on a little date. Take her on a nice date. Be intentional. Plan. You know, try to find different ways to show her that you care. Because, dude, I was in college. You know, I had a girlfriend majority of college. I was broke as hell. Broke as shit. I was broke as shit. But, you know, we lasted 3 years because I always tried to show her in different ways that I loved her and I cared for her by doing gestures and different things for her, right? Like, affection can be shown through so many different ways that it's not this one monetary way. And that's a trap that I fell into within that relationship. I always thought that the only way I can truly show affection and love to this woman is to spend money on her, take her out and do these different things with her. And you know, that's fine to do. That's your woman. You want to do that to her, that's fine. That's a natural thing to want to do as a man. You know, want to take care of your woman the best as you can. But at the same time, you need to understand that you shouldn't deprive yourself of what could be that companionship just because you're not ready. There are so many stories of so many millionaires and billionaires that they met their wives when they were young, broke, and just ambitious men. Women love a man with ambition, a man with a goal and a plan in life. Women love that shit. Right? And if you are showing up every single day and putting in that work every single day, any woman that's worth anything, I'm not saying that women, ladies, I'm not saying you should suffer with a dude that's got a dream that ain't going nowhere. I'm not saying it. That's not what I'm saying. And ladies, I'm not saying you need to stay there with a man that you think ain't gonna go nowhere. Right? But, you know, getting back to the guys, any woman that's really worth anything, that sees you and believes in you, dude, you're set. That's all you need. That's all you need. All you do, you make sure that every single day that you wake up, you work towards getting there. And leaning away from relationships, if there's something that you want to do that's within reason, within your price point, do it. Do it. You want to go to a concert, the tickets are like $100, and you got what? $2,000 in the bank account, bro? Go, do it. Do it. Just plan accordingly. But do it, man. Like I'm saying, you could not wake up tomorrow. You could not wake up tomorrow. Go outside, smell some fresh air, go out with your friends, go to the park. But you know, like try to enjoy your life where you are. Try to do things that make you happy, right? Because again, I'm broke. Currently, I'm broke. But I'm doing things that make me happy. This YouTube channel makes me happy. Making TikToks makes me happy. I have my 4th date with this girl that I've been seeing for the past month on Tuesday. That makes me happy, right? My friends are not in town, granted. They're in college, and graduated. But you know, whatever. It makes me happy. I got a dog last year. I broke as shit, but the dog makes me happy. I'm kind of bummed she's not living with me for the next couple months, but you know, I have like, it's things like that, man. Just do the small things that make you happy. You don't need to push off what makes you happy every single day. You know, I understand to achieve bigger things, you know, you got to push off things a little bit longer than others. Believe me, I know that shit. Both of my dreams that I'm choosing to pursue are long-term things. Like YouTube, this shit ain't gonna start making scratch for another 2-3 years, man. Maybe. And then PT school, 2-3 years. Definitely. But it's you know, man, just find your spot. Find where you are. You don't need to make yourself miserable to make yourself happy later. I always say, you know, to be happy, to truly be happy, you have to be temporarily miserable. But in that misery, you don't need to be, you know, just depriving yourself of everything. Right? Just Find a ways to make yourself happy. Find your ways to make your life feel fulfilled. You know, like for me right now, I'm fulfilled because I'm doing what I love to do every day. I'm making videos, chatting with friends and things like that, and I'm pursuing a dream that I've had ever since I was a kid. So yeah, maybe that could be your way, you know. And I'm also not depriving myself of the idea of companionship. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not depriving myself of the idea of companionship because there's actively somebody that I am pursuing. So yeah, that's today's video. Towards the end, I feel like I got a little bit lazy, but as always, seek God in all that you do. Put him first. Love yourself before you love anybody else. And if there's nobody out there that loves you, I love you, but there is somebody out there that loves you. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I promise. I love you.